Our movie revolves around Superman as he faces betrayal, a deadly new enemy, and a plan that could destroy the world. From losing the trust of the people to fighting for his place as Earth's true protector, this story takes Superman on one of his toughest journeys yet. But before we dive in, if you're into movie recaps, make sure to like and subscribe. It really means a lot to us. The movie kicks off in Antarctica, where Superman lies on the frozen ground, completely drained after a brutal battle. He just stopped a massive military invasion from a country called Boravia, which was trying to conquer its neighbor Jarhanpur. Superman is badly injured and can't move, so he whistles for his loyal dog Krypto, who rushes to his side. He asks Krypto to take him to the Fortress of Solitude, Superman's secret base that only opens for him. As they arrive, the fortress doors open automatically, and a group of robots rush to help, carrying Superman to be treated. While tending to him, the robots play an old message from his parents back on Krypton. In it, they tell him how much they love him, why they sent him to Earth to escape Krypton's destruction, and that his destiny is to protect humanity. But the message cuts off. It seems part of it was lost during the journey to Earth. The robots inform Superman that his body has multiple fractures and injuries, then begin healing him using concentrated sunlight, the very source of his powers. After fully recovering, Superman flies back to Metropolis, only to face Hammer, a superhuman secretly controlled by the evil billionaire Lex Luthor. Despite Superman's efforts, Hammer proves to be the stronger opponent.
He's back. You're 5 o'clock.
Copy.
12C. 18A. 34B. 98Z. 74D. 4014!
After the fight, Hammer returns to Luthor's headquarters, where he is hailed as a hero. Meanwhile, Luthor is determined to uncover the identity of someone who had helped Superman. We learn his name is Malik. At the same time, Angela, one of Luthor's genetically enhanced soldiers, reports that she located the Fortress of Solitude. But as she approached, it suddenly sank deep underground. Luthor orders her to pull back. Meanwhile, Clark asks reporter Lois Lane to interview him as Superman, hoping to set the record straight for the public. Lois agrees, but during the interview, she questions him about the massive media attacks against him, pointing out that the US Secretary of Defense has opened an official investigation into his actions. Clark loses his temper and abruptly ends the interview. Hurt and disappointed, Lois tells him she can't continue their relationship anymore. Her words shatter Clark, leaving him devastated as he walks away. The next day, Luthor holds a secret meeting with high-ranking officials. He presents his army of superhumans, Hammer, Angela, and a deadly squad of advanced robots called Raptors. Luthor insists Superman is a global threat and must be eliminated. Some officials remind him that Superman has saved the world countless times and remains hugely popular, but Luthor refuses to back down. Soon after, Luthor and his team head to the South Pole to infiltrate the Fortress of Solitude. Shockingly, the fortress appears and its doors open without resistance. At the same time, Luthor's men release a small kaiju creature in the city to keep Superman distracted. Inside the fortress, Luthor's forces launch an all-out assault. Krypto charges in to attack Angela, but she subdues him, covering his face with a substance from her own body that leaves him powerless. Luthor orders Angela to hack into the system containing Superman's parents' message. Using her strange abilities, she manages to unlock the missing part of the recording. At last, Luthor has the full message in his hands. Back in the city, the kaiju has grown into a massive monster, rampaging and destroying everything in its path. Superman arrives to fight it, but quickly realizes the beast is far too strong for him alone. Suddenly, the Justice Gang appears. Green Lantern, Mr. Terrific, and Hawkgirl, arriving just in time to join Superman in an epic showdown against the monstrous threat.
Hey, buddy. Eyes up here.
Everybody, clear the area! Get out!
After defeating the kaiju, breaking news flashes across screens worldwide. Lex Luthor appears in a live broadcast, revealing the full version of Superman's parents' message. But here's the shocking twist. The second part of the message, something Superman himself had never heard, claims that humans are weak creatures, and that Superman was sent to Earth to rule over them and take control of the planet. The broadcast instantly destroys Superman's image. People are stunned, afraid, and begin turning against him. Crowds lash out, questioning his true intentions. Shocked and heartbroken, Superman hides away inside a building, struggling to process what just happened. That's when the Justice Gang shows up. They confront him, asking if the message is real. Superman swears he only ever heard the first part, the part where his parents spoke of hope and protecting humanity. He never knew this second part even existed. Mr. Terrific asks, then how did Luthor get it? And in that moment, Superman realizes the truth. Luthor must have broken into the Fortress of Solitude. Superman rushes back, only to find the fortress completely destroyed. Everything's been wrecked, and even Krypto is gone. Devastated, Superman visits Lois, telling her that the second part of the message Luthor showed isn't real. He insists he never heard it, only the original words about hope and serving humanity. Lois looks into his eyes and says she believes him. She encourages him to find a way to prove the truth to the entire world. But Superman shakes his head. He's already made a decision. He'll surrender. The next day, Superman gives himself up. He's taken to a secret desert base, where soldiers escort him through a mysterious time portal that hurls him into a parallel universe. There, he comes face to face with Luthor once again. Luthor reveals that this place is a prison of his own design, a dimension with no escape. Superman is locked in a cell next to another metahuman named Metamorpho. Luthor forces Metamorpho to transform his hands into pure kryptonite, keeping Superman weak and helpless, threatening to kill his own son if he resists. To Superman's horror, he also sees Krypto and several other prisoners, all trapped in the same cruel way. Meanwhile, back in the real world, the news breaks. Boravia has launched a full-scale invasion of Jarhanpur. Meanwhile, Jimmy Olsen, the Daily Planet photographer and Lois's close friend, runs into Luthor's girlfriend, Eve. She happens to like Jimmy, so she spills everything she knows, telling him that Superman is trapped in an alternate dimension created by Luthor himself. Jimmy wastes no time and rushes to share this with Lois. Lois heads straight to the Justice Gang headquarters, pleading with them to help her find Superman and bring him back. She insists he's not the villain Luthor makes him out to be, but a hero who's been framed by lies. Unfortunately, the Justice Gang doesn't believe her. They refuse to get involved, leaving Lois heartbroken and frustrated. Just when she's about to give up, Mr. Terrific steps forward. He tells her he believes her, and he's willing to help. He takes her aboard his high-tech ship, and together they set course for Luthor's secret military base. On the other side, Luthor arrives at the prison dimension with the president of Boravia, who secretly runs the prison. Alongside them is Malik, the same man who once tried to help Superman during his fight with Hammer. Luthor confronts Superman directly, threatening to kill Malik unless Superman gives him the answers he wants. But Superman stays silent, and in a shocking moment, Luthor follows through, killing Malik right in front of him. The brutal act devastates both Superman and Metamorpho. Overcome with grief and anger, Metamorpho secretly swaps out the kryptonite he was forced to use, replacing it with an element drawn from the sun. That one move reignites Superman's powers. Superman bursts free, rescuing Metamorpho's son and his loyal dog Krypto, and with Mr. Terrific's help, they escape the prison dimension together. Luthor finds out Superman has escaped, and he completely loses it. He lashes out at Eve again, so she sneaks into the server room and calls Jimmy. She tells him she's got what he needs to finally take Luthor down, but only if he agrees to spend the weekend with her. Jimmy reluctantly agrees, but before she can finish, Hammer catches her. Still, Eve manages to send the files to Jimmy. At first, Jimmy's frustrated, thinking she only sent him a bunch of selfies. But when he shows them to Lois, she notices hidden documents in the background. Real evidence proving Eve had been gathering dirt on Luthor all along. Lois takes this straight to Perry White, and they decide it's time to finally expose Luthor to the world. Meanwhile, Luthor is busy repairing the broken time portal. He manages to fix it, but in the process, he tears a massive crack in the Earth's crust, literally splitting Metropolis in half and causing buildings to collapse. At the same time, Superman sends Green Lantern, Hawkgirl, and Metamorpho to stop Boravia from invading Jarhanpur again. They succeed, and in the chaos, Hawkgirl even takes out Boravia's president. Back in Metropolis, Superman and Mr. Terrific face off against Angela and Hammer. After defeating Angela, Superman makes a shocking discovery. Hammer is actually his clone, created by Luthor using his own DNA. That's how Luthor managed to break into the Fortress of Solitude. With Krypto's help, Superman finally overpowers Hammer and hurls him into a black hole deep beneath the crack.
What's his game?
Krypto! Get the toy.
30. Oh, the stupid dog. Look at it. Alpha down.
Superman storms into LexCorp to finally confront Luthor, while Mr. Terrific hacks into the system and manages to shut the rift down. Luthor completely loses control, ranting about how he staged the Beravia conflict as a setup to frame Superman, driven purely by his jealousy of the public's love for him. But before he can finish his furious speech, Krypto leaps in and takes Luthor down. Soon, news breaks everywhere, exposing Luthor's entire plan. With nowhere left to run, he's forced to face defeat before being arrested. The people of Metropolis, and the world, once again see Superman as their true hero. Lois finally reunites with him, while Jimmy reunited with Eve, after she and the other inmates are freed from Luthor's prison. Thanks for watching, and if you're still here, make sure to like, subscribe, and stick around. The movies are far from over. See you in the next one.